Community News, and I'm here with the president of SGA, Erica Rhodes. Hi, Erica.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. So we're just going to be asking you a few questions pertaining to your position as president, right?
Okay.
So we know that your situation is a little special. You didn't exactly run for president.
Right.
How did that go?
So one day I woke up and I found out that my president and my vice president of administrative affairs quit. They resigned, said they no longer wanted the position, and I didn't understand why I was next in line, but I said, okay, hey, I'll take it. So at the time I was vice president of administrative academic affairs, excuse me, and I decided that it would be an opportunity for an open doors since I had experience in student government before. So I took the opportunity. I liked it.
That was good. So do you think that you made a good choice?
At first I was optimistic, and then midway through I was like, what did I get myself into? And then after I got over the whole shock and all of the excessive things that came with it, then I was fine. I said I like it. It was an opportunity for people to get to know me to get to know people. Networking is amazing. And if I can't make a change here, I can always say I tried.
Right. So tell me a little bit about your job description. What does it really require that you do?
Patience. But as far as the position itself, it takes a lot of dedication. Being the face of an organization is never easy because everything that happens with that organization you get penalized for,
right,
or you get scrutinized for even the littlest of things that go wrong. So that's hard. Reporting to the board of trustees is something that I always am nervous about. My knees shake every time I talk to them because I feel like they're like Zeus and I'm like the village people. But you know, talking to them about what I talk to students about on a regular basis, letting them know like the little things that students think no one cares about,
right,
they do care about. So having the opportunity to like talk to the administrative staff and talk to the people who actually make decisions on behalf of the student body is something that I don't take lightly, and it's something that anyone who comes into the position shouldn't take lightly. It puts you in a really good position, not only with scholarships and other things of that nature, but just in a position overall for the student body.
So you mentioned a little bit about reporting to the Board of Trustees, so meaning that there have been things that you've been talking to students about, things that you've been trying to change. So what kinds of changes have been made since you've been in office, and whether, like, are they good or are they bad? Like, what's going on there?
Okay, so since I've been in office, I went to a meeting at the Faculty Senate, and a couple of professors proposed an idea for safe space. And the safe space was pretty much to give an safe outlet or a safe environment for LBGT community.
Right.
And with that being said, I took that and took it to the Board of Trustees and let them know that there was an interest, it was going on, and that people were interested in being educated on the topic, and that it was something that needed to be, you know, campus-wide and taken care of. So they took the idea into their comments and into their board, and they decided that, you know, this was a movement they were going to push. It's something that was important. Also, the recycling initiative, even though we have a lot of recycling going on so far already, it's not being pushed as much.
Right.
So there's an ongoing campaign to push the recycling thing and get it going, because a lot of students have concerns about it. It's something that the Green and Fit Club is concerned about. It's something that our student trustee member, Fern Neptune, she's really an advocate for recycling and going green and being healthy and environmentally friendly things. So she really took hold of that and ran with it.
Right.
So those are just a couple of things that we're trying to do.
Sounds good. So with College Life Services being so controlling at times, there have been instances where they were not so welcoming or not so open to some of the things that the upstairs people have to say about the way that we do things here. How have you been dealing with those opposing views, if any?
Well, actually, I will have to say there's a couple people in culture services that aren't necessarily the easiest to talk to.
Right.
I'll say that. And when you try to talk to those people, sometimes you get frustrated. But I won't say my relationship with them is bad because it's actually really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I try my hardest to talk to them and express my concerns. Since I've been in this position, they've been helping me in all kinds of ways. Anything I need or I'm in need of,
Right.
they go above and beyond to help, or go above and beyond to find a way to get things done for me. Dean Nicholson and Dr. Lee, they're amazing people. They definitely try their best to work with me, like, to get things done, and that's something I appreciate because they don't give me too much adversity. If anything, they ask my opinion or what I feel about things, or and I like that about them because it's like I felt like when I came into the position, I'd be like, you can't do this, you can't do that, and it wasn't like that. It was more so, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
How do you want to do it? Is it educationally based?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes students want to have events that aren't necessarily educationally based.
Right.
They are fun events with no educational value.
Right.
And because we are an educational institution, it still has to relate back to some type of learning experience. So what they ask is, well, we're not going to say no. We want to know, can you go back? Can you ask this club to itemize it? Can you ask this club to relate it back to education in some type of way?
Mm-hmm.
If they can do that and they can give some type of educational value, then we're all for it. We'll push it. And that's something I appreciate because at first it was no, and now it's maybe. Let's work on it. So.
Trying to let you down easy.
Right.
I know last year there was a big debacle about funding as far as the clubs were concerned. And a few of our major clubs have dispersed. They're no more. So how have things changed and how is everybody else dealing with that situation since it happened?
Funding is an issue that is constant and ongoing, and I'll honestly say this semester it's gotten better. I would have liked to have seen those clubs that have left waited out because it's gotten better. The cloud is gone, and it's starting to, you're starting to see the rainbow now.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I've seen happen lately is there's a new fund for new clubs to come into existence. Now, instead of starting with nothing,
Right.
you're starting with $200.
That's
The deans,
good.
if you need it, you can show that you're going to start working. You have a plan to move ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Dean Nicholson has decided to be $200 to start your program, or $200 to start, your events, and then the following semester you build from there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that wasn't going on before. It was, I don't have, so I don't have nothing.
Right.
And that's not something that we wanted to always go with. Also, now when it comes to funding, nuts and bolts is something that everyone was so against. And now it's like, if you go, because it's mandatory, now you know how to manage your funds. Now you know what you can and cannot buy with your funds.
Right.
Now you know the time limit on your funds. I will say it's gotten harder to get things done as far as financial inquiries go because now we have to go strictly by the book. There are no exceptions. There are no, we'll work with you here. None of that. It's all strictly by the book. So if there's a 30-day deadline and you wait 21 days, then you're short. If there's a 10-day deadline to get your paperwork and it doesn't get in, then you're short. I mean, it's not the best of ideas, but now it's fair all the way across the board. No treatment for, not even SGA. Not CAB, none of the bigger organizations, none of the ones who have longevity are exempt from that. So I guess if we continue to show an example that we're not even exempt from it ourselves, everyone else can see that too.
And I think that probably was an issue too because there was a lot of favoritism going on in a lot of the clubs. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So enough with this dark cloud of badness. What is the best part of your job? What do you live for when you wake up out of your bed and come to PG for?
The best part about my job, it is, I think the best thing I've gotten out of it is the people I've got to meet, the people I've got to inspire in some ways. I never knew the student trustee member until I became president, and she's an amazing person. Outside of, she's wild and quirky and really, really fun, but she's a really, really genuinely good and golden-hearted person. And I've met a lot of just everyday students who are easygoing, funny, nice. They're really, really sweet people. And it doesn't seem that way when you come to Prince George's Community College. You hear people say things like, oh, that's 13th grade. And, oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
People are so immature, and that's not true. Some people are really here to learn. Some people are really here to impact their peers. And when I met people like that, it makes me feel so much better. Like, things in the school aren't necessarily what people make them seem.
Right.
There are good people here. So I think that's the best part about being SGA president. I got to meet a lot of people that I wouldn't have met otherwise.
Well, thank you so much for giving us this time to interview you, Erica.
You're welcome.
I'm Steffi Connor, and this has been PGCC News.